I don't know nobody on this road that can save your soul. Almost lost control now. Tell me what you need in a friend and now. Pray that we endure to the end again. I'm just saying that I'm here for you. When the world turn against you, I'ma be with you. Got my soul in my hand, you can count on me. I won't run and hide, fight mightily.
Waiting on O.F.I. See the Jacob, I'm the apple of my father's eye. I learned the truth for who I was and it made me cry. If I don't keep the laws of Yah, then I'm gonna die. Living curses, but I'm edifying in my verses. Prepare the hearses for the heathens who be steady learning.
Khan. Call on Yahweh by Shema Mashiach Malak Yahweh. Blessed to be here, on the closing night of the mighty and glorious Feast of Dedication. I am the Captain O.F.I. Emmanuel. All praise to the Most High. Shalom.
Shalom, family. All praise to the Most High. Yahweh by Shema Mashiach Malak Yahweh. General Nakamaya, O.F.I. on this beautiful, beautiful last day of closing day of the Feast of the Dedication. Just thankful to be able to bring out the word, to still be here in this truth, y'all, and to compel the lost sheep of the house of Israel spread to the four corners of the world, the hopeful elect, to return back to the Most High God, Yahweh, and to make our bodies a living sacrifice.
God, all praise to the Most High. Just getting on to bring out a couple scriptures to try to edify the sheep, edify the nation to the best of our ability. This lesson is going to be titled, "What is your level of dedication?" Which is a question we all have to ask ourselves. Whether or not we have been extremely diligent in our dedication for a long period of time, short period of time, or whether or not we're in the midst of falling short, knowing that we can be more dedicated to Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. These things are important to go through. These things are to remember. And not only because we're in the midst of the Feast of Dedication, but always keeping in mind how we must dedicate ourselves to the Lord, how we must take ourselves, well, Lord willing, pray and beg that He take us from the world, out of the world, and dedicate our minds, our bodies, our spirits, our souls, everything about ourselves to be centered around dedicating our work to Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. All praises. So we're going to go ahead and get it kicked off. Now, we're going to start with a simple Google search. Salakia, bear with me for 1 second. Let's get definition of dedication. So we got dedication right here. The quality of being dedicated or committed to a task or purpose. Dedication is a quality that you want to have, but there's certain ways or certain types of dedication. The dedication that we come to speak of today is the dedication to the Most High, to Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, to your walk in this truth, right? You want to have that quality to where you're committed to that certain task or purpose. What is our purpose? Our purpose is to serve Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, right? We see that in the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 12. That is our purpose. That is what we're here for. We live to serve Yahweh. We breathe to serve Yahweh. We wake up in the morning to serve Yahweh. We eat dinner to serve Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. Everything that we do we always have to keep in mind our dedication to the Lord, Lord willing, right? So we come to bring this video out to show our dedication to the Lord, Lord willing, and get into these scriptures. I'm going to start with the book of Romans chapter 12 from the top. It reads as thus: I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of God, that ye present your bodies a living sacrifice. Right? A living sacrifice. That means while you're alive, while the Lord is still breathing air into your body, while He thought enough of you to wake you up in the morning, you got to show your dedication to the Lord, all the things that He's doing for you, right? You got to make your body a living sacrifice. Now, that may look different for, specific individuals, right? Some individuals may get on here and make videos. Some may be out in the community, in the Israelite community, consistently giving alms. Some may be consistent in their reading, so on and so forth. But just making our bodies a living sacrifice unto the Lord to the best of our ability. It says, holy, acceptable unto God, which is your reasonable service. That's your duty. That's your service. You owe that to the Lord, right? Your salvation, or the chance that may be, was bought with a cost, at a price, and at a hefty one too. So your dedication has to be shown when it comes to serving Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Right? You got it, King.
Kind of, that's a very key point, because when it goes into dedication, there's different levels of dedication. You got levels of dedication of different things, from we even see how the temple had to be dedicated. You see there's certain vessels that are dedicated to certain uses within the temple, within the ministry. You see there's certain men that are dedicated within the ministry, you see there's certain men that are dedicated in certain roles and positions, from armor bearers to, porters to the royal priesthood, right? You got scribes, you got different offices that are set up to execute the roles and the responsibilities in the ministry. And no difference than in the ancient days. Now in these days, we have different roles and different members of the body that are dedicated to different purposes. Let's go to Proverbs 16:3, because a big thing about dedication is committal. Committing. I said committal because the brother as said in his truth rap, he said, I need more committal. We need to commit ourselves to the Most High and recommitting ourselves to the Most High, committing your works. So we're going to go Proverbs 16:3, and it reads, commit thy works unto the Lord, and thy thoughts shall be established. It's even showing us the reward of committing to the Most High, because the Most High is just that he's going to reward you for everything you do, right? And see, in the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 12 and verse 14, I believe it goes into every work, whether good or bad, whether wicked or righteous, is going to be called to account by the Most High. So the Most High is just to give you that just reward and committing your works. And one of the rewards that we see is that our thoughts shall be established, right? The Most High will show you the right way to think, and will give you the thoughts that you need to think to even increase your commitment. You follow what I'm saying? You got it, King.
God, all praise to the Most High. That's a great point that the brother is making right there. That's a great point. Salakia, this real estate pop up. All praise to the Most High. How about Shem Yahushai? Let's get the book of Luke, chapter 14. Lord willing. We're going to the book of Luke, chapter 14, and we're going to be reading the 33rd verse. Now remember, this lesson is titled, what level of dedication do you have? Right? What is your level of dedication to Yahweh B'Shem HaMashiach Malak Yahushai? Luke 14 and 33 reads, so likewise, whosoever he be of you that forsaketh not all that he hath, he cannot be my disciple. Are you dedicated enough that if it came down to it, that you will forsake everything you got? Will you let it all go? Can you be the type of brother or the type of sister that you may have to cut things off near and dear unto you? Is your dedication strong enough? Right? When you think about your dedication, and my brother was saying this before we got on, when you think about your dedication compared to your job or your hobbies or your what do they call it, pastimes, how does it stack up against your dedication to Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua? Are those things in the lead? Are those things kind of neck and neck? Are those things just a little bit behind? There should be a gap. There should be a gap. The Lord should get the most dedication you've ever put out in your entire life, right? Now that's not to say to not be balanced in this lifetime, but there should be a gap there. There should be a noticeable difference. Let's put it that way. When you examine in your walk in your life, there should be a noticeable difference between the dedication that you have in this truth, this walk to Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, and the rest of the things that's in your everyday life. So, Lord willing, we all can examine and see, how do those things stack up?
Mm.
Are they appearing to be more important at this time? Are they appearing to tip the scales in their favor at this time? If so, then Lord willing, we got to make an adjustment. Lord willing, we have to make an adjustment. Now, we know everyone has a lot going on, but everyone has always had a lot going on. Hey, our mighty forefathers had a lot going on. The disciples had a lot going on. This very scripture is about being a disciple of a Mashiach Womalak Yahushai, and how sometimes you got to cut down on the things you have going on so you can fulfill that duty, so you can be dedicated in that manner. You got it, King.
Man, that's even cutting me. Dedication, a false balance of not having that righteous balance, right? Not
Same.
going as hard as we can.
Same.
If you think about, if you are a professional athlete, if you whatever you're aspiring to do, you're going to commit yourself to the duties and the responsibilities that will enable you to achieve your aspirations. So if you're aspiring to be an actor, right, and you're going to be reading as many damn scripts as you can. If you're aspiring to be a professional athlete, you're going to commit yourself to training. You're going to have to get up your endurance. You're going to commit yourself to all manner of works that pertain to achieving that goal. If you're a businessman or woman, you're going to commit yourself to growing your company, to ultimately getting the bag, as they say in the world. And these things, we should be committing our works even more to the Most High, where there shouldn't be a comparison. And sometimes too, we may find that is a difficult thing to do, because our mind isn't fashioned after the likeness of the Most High, of having like our mighty forefather David, of having a mind, a heart after the Most High's own heart. And where do we put things at on the level? Like, is your level of dedication, is your desire for that level of dedication? Because see, a lot of times brothers and sisters might have the will to do it, but your desire isn't strong to endure over different things that are right there in your face, to be able to overcome those things, to push on to dedicate to the Most High. So, dedication and desire go hand in hand. Do you desire this truth? And how much do you desire this truth? At what level is your desire to dedicate yourself? If brothers desire a relationship, or sisters desire a relationship, you're going to go hard in that courting. You're going to go hard in that spending time together. You're going to go hard even when you're thinking about that the one that you love, or the one that you desire to be with. So, in these type of situations, we see on a day-to-day basis that we see our level of dedication when it comes to other things. Let's get Haggai from the top. Let's get the book of Haggai from the top, chapter 1 from the top. Because we even see when it goes down to dedicating our temple, right? Making your body a living sacrifice, dedicating that temple to the Most High God. We also see what happened when the Most High had put through the spirit of Haggai for us to build the Most High God a house. Right now, we know that the Most High doesn't dwell in houses that are built with man's hands, right? But we know the spiritual connotation of having that dedication of the house, right? So Haggai chapter 1 from the top. In the second year of Darius the king, in the 6th month, in the first day of the month, came the word of the Lord Yahweh by Haggai the prophet unto Zerubbabel the son of Shethiel, governor of Judah, and to Joshua the son of Josedek the high priest. Now notice this as well. The prophets of the old days, right, had to be dedicated to the work of the Most High. They literally had to be dedicated unto death, right? How much more so, or in these end times, do us, being the prophets, the servants of the Most High God who prophesy His word, have to have equal or increased dedication to the Most High God? Reading on. Thus speaketh the Lord Yahweh of hosts, saying, this people say, the time is not come, the time that the Lord Yahweh's house should be built. Now, they were literally saying, hey, look, it's not time to build the Most High God's house. And we be saying the same thing through the Spirit in this time. Hey, you know what? It's not time to do the work. Or, I got to put it off for such and such. Hey, doesn't it tell us in the book of Sirach, the 5th chapter, to make no tearing, to turn to the Most High God, right? Put not off from day to day. That means dedication should always be presently in your mind. It should be a present action. It should be a present exercise, as Captain said, as examining yourself daily to what is the level of your dedication. Then came the word of Yahweh by Haggai the prophet, saying, is it time for you, O ye, to dwell in your sealed houses, and this house lie waste? So is it time for us to go and dedicate ourselves to all the other works that we have that are of the world? Is it time for you to worry about upping your education in school? And there's nothing wrong with taking on certain tasks and duties in this world, but where's your balance at? Is it time to go so hard for that so-called bag, right? Is it time to go so hard for your domestic relationship? Is it time to go so hard for your work, for your duties, hey, for your pastimes, for your pleasures? Is it time to go so hard for those things, but to not go harder for the work of the Most High God? You got it, King.
God, that's a mighty, mighty point. All praise to the Most High. And I know that the brother touched on striving for the truth until death, being dedicated all the way to your death. If that's what the Lord has in store for you, for you to die in this lifetime. All praise to the Most High. And, while we're speaking on that, we definitely, from O.F.I to all of Yasha'Allah, give a mighty shalom and a rest in your sleep to the mighty brother Jonah from W.F.I,
God.
a mighty brother that was doing the works of the Lord and was brought on home to get some rest, from this wicked world. All praise to the Most High. So we definitely keeping his family and the brothers of WFI and the entire nation in our prayers. Lord willing, all praise to the Most High. So let's get we're gonna go to the book of Philippians. Lord willing. Book of Philippians chapter 2. We're gonna start at verse number 25. Remember, this is titled, what level is your dedication, or what level of dedication do you have? Right? Let's try to examine ourselves and see if we stack up to some of the levels of dedication our mighty forefathers had, right? Because we're striving to try to be like our mighty forefathers, first and foremost, Yahweh Shai and Mashiach. So Philippians 2 and 25, it reads, yet I supposed it necessary to send you to Epaphroditus, my brother and companion in labor and fellow soldier, but your messenger, and he that ministered to my wants. And that caused me to say, I'm on this live right now with my brother, my companion in labor, and a fellow soldier, right? And we gotta consistently and continually exhort one another to up our levels of dedication, right? We've been talking a lot lately, and we just been, conversing about how we just need to do more, how we need to be making these videos more. So we're You know, we've gotten to a point where all praise to the Most High. We just pushing each other, man, because we truly are in the last days, and your level of dedication, and the Lord is going to reward every man according to his works. That's a real thing. So think about that. Think about how your level of dedication will reflect your reward. Dedication, reward. What level is your dedication going to be at? What level is your reward going to be at? Read Noah. For he longed after you all and was full of heaviness, because that ye had heard that he had been sick. For indeed he was sick nigh unto death. But God had mercy on him, and not on him only, but on me also, lest I should have sorrow upon sorrow. I sent him therefore the more carefully, that when ye see him again, ye may rejoice, and that I may be less sorrowful. Receive him therefore in the Lord with all gladness, and hold such in reputation. Here's the point. Because for the work of Hamashiach, for this reason, he was nigh unto death, right? Going so hard. Imagine going so hard out here for the work of Yahweh Bashem Shai that you work yourself nigh unto death. I don't know if I've ever been here reading this and truly thought about the first half of this scripture in this manner. Going so hard that you worked yourself nigh unto death, all for the sake of Yahweh Bashem Shai, not regarding his life. So while in the midst of that, you may be noticing you getting a little weak. You may be noticing that you're getting a little famished. You may be noticing that your body is hurting. You may be noticing that you're more tired than usual. You may be noticing that it's hard for you. It's been hard for me for a little while now to stay up at night during our classes. That's something that I've noticed. But I gotta be more dedicated and thinking about uh actually not thinking about the level of tired I am, not thinking about everything that I have going on. I could have nothing going on. The Lord has blessed me, with multiple ways to provide for a family and bless me with responsibilities. But even in those, even in the midst of all that, I can't, we can't regard, we can't give too much regard to how tired we are or how much we got on our shoulders. We got to serve the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushai with none of those things in regard. With none of those things in regard, right? To supply your lack of service toward me. And remember, that's not to say that we don't have to have a healthy and righteous balance, right? But it's for your mindset. It's for you. It's for the level of dedication that the Lord has blessed you with in your mind, which is going to reflect your level of dedication with your actions, with your body, Lord willing. So we can keep these things in mind when we're thinking about our level of dedication and our rededication. We're in the midst of feast of dedication. If you are falling short, if it has been a little period of time or an extended period of time to where you've been falling short with your dedication, now's the time, all praise to the Most High through grace and mercy, for you to rededicate yourself. You got it, King.
Man. Just thinking about just man, that's heavy, man. For real. We just hope, our hopes and wishes is that we can dedicate ourselves and strive for that righteousness unto death. And I was a mighty brother by Shem Yahushai, and it's easy to overlook. Sometimes in this truth, it's easy to overlook the responsibilities that we have and how important they are, how precious it is, how precious this truth is. How precious it is to even know the name of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. How sacred it is to even say Yahweh.
Right.
Like, that's sacred. We was Salakia on the new moon call last night, we were going over how the heathen, they won't even say the name of Yahweh is dreadful unto the heathen. And they literally say G/D. Think about that. How sacred and how powerful and special it is for us to even know the name of Yahweh and to be able to call on the name of Yahweh, to be able to know who our God is, to even dedicate. It's a lot of people who dedicated to the false idol of Cesar Borgia. It's a lot of people who dedicated to Islam. It's people who dedicate their time to sex and murders and idolatry and lies and covetousness and all type of, things, man. It's people who dedicate themselves to damn pornography. Hey, where do you dedicate your mind to? Who do you can't serve two masters? So where's your dedication at? And what level is that dedication at? Is your dedication on the left-hand side, serving the things of this world at a high level? Or is your dedication on the right-hand side, serving Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai? And what level is it at? And there is no ceiling in this truth. And we heard the elders from of old, teach us that, and we see it through the word. There's no apex. It's not like you climbing a mountain and you getting to the top and you damn stick your flag in there and say, hey, it's done. Hey, it's never done until the Most High God call you home, or until Yahweh Shai crack that sky we put into the kingdom, Lord willing. Let's get out of the book of Psalms 119 and let's go to verse 62. Book of Psalms, chapter 119 and verse 62.
God.
And it reads, it's the book of Psalms, chapter 119 and verse 62. At midnight I will rise to give thanks unto thee because of thy righteous judgments. You think about that, like in the middle of the night, you should be up still dedicating yourself to the Most High. It says, I will rise to give thanks unto thee. That brings me into the mind, like, you so dedicated to the Most High God that in the midst of your sleep, you damn near wake up out of your sleep just to call upon the name of Yahweh, just to give the Most High thanks because of thy righteous judgments. And we're going to jump to verse 97 as well. Verse 97 of the same chapter says, oh, how love I thy law. It is my meditation all the day. So when you think about that, like through the whole totality of the day, we should be meditating on the Most High God's word, because that's dedicating your mind. You've dedicated your mind to reasoning through the precepts. You dedicated your mind to searching through the precepts, trying to get that understanding. And that can even come down to having certain precepts in your mind. And this is something that I'm working on as well. Having certain precepts stored up in your mind that are always warring with the thoughts of the flesh. So no matter where you look, and you're not drawn away by strange lust of this world, because you got precepts stored up in your mind that's battling that carnal thought constantly. That's a form of dedication that comes back to repetition. When you go through repetitive thoughts and repetitive actions, it builds up a familiarity and it builds up the ability to execute those repetitive commands, because they've become a part of you. Like if you go in and you shooting 1,000 jump shots a day, you just in the gym, just damn, you on some Kobe, just shooting. Your form is gonna be right in the right way, right? Your confidence is gonna be up. So when you going through the hole, you looking to get fouled, because once you get to that free throw line, and you damn near know you about to be a high percentage free throw shooter, because you war tested. So now you looking for ways, you cutting through, you jump stopping, you waiting for that foul, because like, look, when I get to that free throw line, hey, I'm damn near 100% that I'm gonna make this, Lord willing, right? So we got to be in that same type of mind frame times a thousandfold in its truth. And that's going to prepare your dedication directly correlates with your confidence in the Most High. Your dedication directly correlates with your confidence and your faith in the Most High. Because the more dedicated that you are, I'm strongly led to believe, the more resilient you're going to be, the more battle tested you're going to be, which ultimately goes into the more prepared you're going to be able to go through things and to get through things, and the more willing you're going to be to serve the Most High God, because the more understanding, Lord willing, He's going to impart onto you through the Spirit by Shem Yahushua. You got it, King.
Yeah, that's a mighty breakdown, and all praise to the Most High. That Psalms 119 and 62 just instantly became one of my favorite scriptures. Just thinking about, that scripture and how the brother broke it down, and just your mind being so dedicated, so locked in that even in the midst of your dreams, even in the midst of your sleep, and you're popping up and you're giving thanks unto the Lord, man. So, man, all praise to the Most High. We're gonna go to the book of Second Corinthians, chapter 11, and I'm pulling it up in the NLT, Lord willing. Second Corinthians, chapter 11. We're gonna start at we'll just start at verse 22. We'll read a couple of verses in here, Lord willing. Right? It says, "Are they Hebrews? So am I. Are they Israelites? So am I. Are they descendants of Abraham? So am I. Are they servants of Hamashiach? I know I sound like a madman, but I have served him far more, right? I have worked harder, been put in prison more often." And let me stop there. Let me stop there. You want to be able to say that. You want to be able to say, but I have served him far more. And not even in a sense of a competition spirit with your brethren, like, yeah, I'm a unrighteously in an unrighteous manner because I want to see you do less. I'm going to do more. In a righteous spirit, in a righteous spirit of just think about being able to, or even being in position to be able to say that. Hey, I've served him far more. Not even necessarily thinking about or walk watching. You're just sitting around kind of walk watching every brother and see if you beating them out. No, you just you're focused on your walk and your dedication, and even just having the ability to say, you know what, I just been going hard. I've been going crazy. I've been on fire for the Lord. I have worked harder, been put in prison more often, been whipped times, been whipped times without number. Think about some of these things that we read and that the mighty brother Paul faced. And this was his level of dedication. It gives you a clear indication of his level of dedication because he didn't stop. Would you have stopped after you were whipped the first time? Would you have stopped after you were put in prison the first time? Would you have given up? Would it have been too much for you? Right? It says, and face death again and again. You gotta think Paul was looking down, looking at his death multiple times, face to face with death multiple times. But guess what? He kept going. It says 5 different times the Jews, well, it says Jewish leaders, but we know, gave me 39 lashes. 3 times I was beaten with rods. Once I was stoned. 3 times I was shipwrecked. I kind of just, every time I read this account, I think about like, what could I have did what he did? Could I have been shipwrecked? Could I have been close to being stoned, beaten with rods? This is mighty affliction that the brother Paul, and not only just Paul, this is the life of an apostle, right? The life of a prophet. These are the things that our forefathers was going through. And we have our ways and are things that we go through today. Having to fight through temptations, having to deal with wicked spirits out on the highways and byways. Hey, we face dangers. Are you the type of brother that you no longer go to camp because the last time you went, somebody tried to jump over the line? Or is your level of dedication met? Does it end when it comes to you being in some kind of danger? Can you risk your life for the Lord? Seriously, can't you? Can you put your life on the line for the Lord? Are you that dedicated? It says, once I spent a whole night and a day adrift at sea. I have traveled on many long journeys. I have faced danger from rivers and from robbers. I have faced danger from my own people, the Jews as well as the Gentiles. Hey, that's a cut too. While we reading that, just to quickly touch on, he said he had faced danger from his own people, the Jews and the Gentiles. Those Gentiles are Israelites.
God.
I have faced danger in the cities, in the deserts, and on the seas, and I have faced danger from men who claim to be believers but are not. Finishing it out, I have worked hard and long, enduring many sleepless nights. That that specific part, it eats at me because um, just been kind of falling asleep at night in the midst of studying. All praise to the Most High for, even night studies, getting on and studying and being able to even fall asleep in the midst of the word. To have that spirit to be on studying and you fall asleep while studying, but just wanting and desiring to do more, to stay up longer, that extra 30 minutes, that extra hour. It said, I have been hungry and thirsty and have often gone without food. I have shivered in the cold without enough clothing to keep warm. And these things are coming back to the earth for the life of an apostle, for a life of a disciple, for a servant of the Lord. So you men who are out here doing these works, you men who have signed up, well, Lord willing, through the power and spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, He's allowed you to sign up for this life. Your level of dedication got to be high, and you can't give in. Think back on our brother Paul and everything that he faced to give you motivation, Lord willing. You got it, King.
Let's stay in 2 Corinthians and go to the 4th chapter. And that's heavy. When you think about all the things that our beloved brother Paul went through for the gospel, for the ministry, not for his own self. It's about this, like brothers and sisters, though, in modern day times, they wear, nigga, I've been through a bid. I've been shot X amount of times.
Right.
All of these different things. And I got 6 prison numbers. Hey, Jake and Eve get boasted up and puffed up.
And they said they did it all for the game.
Say that again, King.
They said they did it all for the game, for the streets.
Did it all for the game. And they had that what's the name from they got that money making Mitch spirit.
Yeah.
From Paid in Full. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So hey, I could lead the game, but when I lead the game, I could be like one of them ball playing cats. But is the game still gonna love me, B? And they got that type of spirit on them,
Right.
You think of what our beloved brother Paul went through for the gospel, for the ministry. You really think about being shipwrecked, man. I can't imagine being shipwrecked. I don't like staying in a pool for too long. You know what I'm saying? Let alone being like really like shipwrecked. You out in the middle of the elements, and you don't know what's going on. You don't know what's happening. You don't know if you gonna make it, if you're gonna die, if you're gonna drown. It's all type of sharks, and and you got to think about how dark it get out there in the middle of the ocean, in the middle of the sea.
How cold it get.
Cold, dark, fearful. And you didn't didn't become shipwrecked because you was taking a vacation and you was
Right.
going from land to land to reach your people. Man, that make if that don't make you turn up your dedication, if that doesn't put a spirit on you by Shem Yahweh on the right hand side though, like the king was getting into, not it's nothing wrong with righteous competition.
Right.
That's why it says exhort one another daily. Now, Lord willing, it's on the right hand side, and you're not doing works to be seen of men only.
Right.
And I say of only because your works, you shouldn't be doing works solely to be seen of men on that fold. And I'm trying to choose my words wisely because it's a balance. Because we do want to be mighty examples, and it's true,
Mm-hmm.
right? But you don't want that to be the foundation of why everything should be because of the Most High, right? Let's go get 2 Corinthians 4. We can start with 16, I believe. Start with verse 16. Get right to it. The book of 2 Corinthians, chapter 4, and verse 16, right? For which cause we faint. I'm going to start with 15. For all things are for your sakes, that the abundant grace might through the thanksgiving of many rebound to the glory of the Most High. For which cause we faint not. But though our outward man perish, yet the inward man is renewed day by day. And we want to continually to have that spirit of renewal, rededicating, of renewal, rededication, rededication, rededication. Every day you should be rededicating yourself. That rededication should be at, Lord willing, a higher level and level and level. And it doesn't, look, it can be leaps and bounds, but still, if they small steps, as long as you, Lord willing, progressing forward and you're not backsliding and
Right.
backsliding and backsliding, and even if you backslide, you follow what I'm saying? Lord willing, you don't backslide out of this truth, and you examine yourself through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, and you, oh man, a just man falls 7 times, but get back up and edge up, rededicate. You know, I'm rededicating myself today. I read 1 chapter today. Tomorrow I'm reading 2.
Right.
I read 2 today. Hey, by next week, I want to be at 10 chapters. All right. And in a month, I want to be at 10 chapters, but I also want to be at going into the Greek, going into the Hebrew. I want to make my studies more rigorous in that quantity of chapters that I do. Okay, now I'm doing that. Now I want to practice on applying the precepts as well. Because it's one thing to just read, you know, but what about applying what you're reading? Dedicating what you're reading, dedicating your works. For our light affliction, which is but a moment, worketh for us a far more exceeding and eternal weight of glory. What we going through right now is just light work, y'all. It's light affliction.
Con.
Whatever you're going through is light affliction. And you got to be dedicated in your mind to know that, though, by Shem Yahushua, that it can always be worse. A death is always knocking at your door.
Right.
Being snatched out of the truth is always knocking at your door. It's right around the corner there, y'all. Lord forbid. Hey, didn't Yahweh Shai say that Peter, Satan desires to sift thee like wheat, but I have prayed for thee. And when thou art strengthened, when thou art established, strengthened, paraphrasing, strengthen thy brethren. You want to be able to have your dedication so strong that you're also praying and exhorting other brothers and sisters in this truth to likewise be dedicated. And we a body. It don't matter what camp you in, right? We all are the body of a Mashiach woman like Yahushua. Now, some body members got to be purged out too. We get that. And some crept in unawares who want to knock down your dedication. It's people out there who hate how dedicated that you've been to the Most High, and who want to do all that they can do to encourage you to be undedicated. And your dedication has to be so diligent that you're through the Spirit able to perceive those individuals as well, right? While we look not at the things which are seen, but at the things which are not seen. For the things which are seen are temporal, but the things which are not seen are eternal. We want our dedication to be focused and rooted on those eternal things. You don't want to be dedicated to the things that are temporal. Here today, going tomorrow. Hey, here today, going today.
Right.
You got it, King.
No, that's some mighty, mighty, mighty points. All praise to the Most High. And that's true. What we going through is just light affliction. I think sometimes we lose sight of that. We get so caught up in our daily lives and everything that we have going on, and judgments or tests that the Lord may be putting us through, and we tend to think that it's heavier than it actually is. When the Lord knows you, He's known you from the beginning, and He gives you what you can handle. So, even dedicating yourself to just where you lack. If you lack being joyful more often, dedicate yourself to being more joyful. In the word, of course, in a joyful manner unto the Lord. Get into the scriptures that talk about joy. If you lack in um, alms, dedicate yourself to giving more alms. There's, like the brother was saying, there's steps that you can take. Everything doesn't have to be a you jumped them 10 feet, or you jumped over a damn mountain. Hey, it might be you took one step forward. You might have took half a step forward, but if you keep on taking half steps forward, hey, you're going forward, man. So Lord willing, we all can go forward in our dedication.
God.
Uh, Let me get this account real quick, Lord willing. The book of Genesis, chapter 22. Thinking about our levels of dedication, man. When we think about levels of dedication and we think about accounts, Abraham is one of the top that come to my mind because he was so dedicated to his faith, so dedicated to his obedience in the Lord, that he was prepared to do something that a lot of us can say we would do, but we don't know if we would. It's Genesis chapter 22, starting at verse 9. And they came to the place which God had told him of. And Abraham built an altar there and laid the wood in order and bound Isaac, his son, and laid him on the altar upon the wood. And Abraham stretched forth his hand and took the knife to what? To slay his son. This was a commandment that he gave, that the Most High gave Abraham to do, to give him his son, to give him Isaac. Abraham could have tried to run off. Abraham could have tried to beg for the life of his son. Abraham could have tried to ask the Lord to take him instead. There was many things that Abraham could have did. But what did Abraham do? He got to it. Because not for 1 second did his level of dedication slip, even when it came to something that was heart wrenching. We tend to think when we read this account that this was just something easy to do because we don't read about any excuses that he made. But Abraham was a forefather, a man. He was a man just like us. And we know that that man loved his son. So we know that he had to be going through some things eternally. But guess what? He was so dedicated, he was able to put his own feelings aside and just do whatever it took to be obedient to the Lord. That's how we got to be. There might be things that we want or desire emotionally or spiritually, but if it's not for the greater good, and when I say that, if it's not to improve or increase your performance and your walk in the eyes of the Lord, then it ain't worth it. Let's read on. It says, "And the angel of the Lord called unto him out of heaven and said, Abraham, Abraham. And he said, Here I am. And he said, Lay not thy hand upon the lad, neither do thou anything unto him. For now I know that thou fearest God, seeing thou hast not withheld thy son, thy only son, from me." So, we just got to kind of ask ourselves, will we have done the same? And then when we make it more specific to our own lives, can we make hard decisions? Can we make decisions that you're going to have to live with? Can we make decisions that are heart wrenching? Can we make decisions that may affect our everyday life, but it's all in honor and glory and servitude of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai? Can we do that? And if we can't, we got to examine our level of dedication. We would have to and be forced to examine our level of dedication. You got it, King.
Let's get that Second Chronicles 7 before we wrap up, King, too. That Second Chronicles 7, because when we go into the Feast of the Dedication, we have to remember, Solomon dedicated the temple, right? This wasn't the first dedication. Solomon dedicated the temple. So even when we go into what we're going to get into in this first Maccabees, is that it's the rededication, because Solomon had already did the first dedication. And we want to be in that mind frame of realizing that our body is that temple right now. And we want to dedicate our temple to the Most High in like fashion, with all of the vessels, with all of the glory, you know what I mean? And not hold nothing back.
All right.
Sometimes it's like, when it comes time, and I know this is about myself as well, like when it comes time for us to give the Most High his, it's like, okay, I'm gonna do it, but it's with these limitations, or okay, I only got this amount of time, or it's too many stipulations on it. But if it's something that we want to do, it's like, okay, I'm gonna do it, and you don't even think about the limitations or the stipulations. So that's another thing too. And keep us in prayer on that constantly, Lord willing. You know what I mean? That to keep us, that to have a mind after the Most High, to keep our thoughts aligned with the will of the Most High, right? Because the Most High's will is going to be done regardless. You can't stop it. But you want to willingly, Lord willing, have that spirit, to have that mind, to not buck up against the will of the Most High God.
Right.
This is the book of Second Chronicles chapter 7 from the top. Now, when Solomon had made an end of praying, the fire came down from heaven and consumed the burnt offerings and the sacrifices, and the glory of Yahweh filled the house. And we want the glory of the Most High God to fill our house, our spiritual house, through the Holy Spirit, by Shem Yahushua. And that's a way to dedicate your life and to have a high level of dedication, is asking the Most High God to send His Holy Spirit to guide you and to direct you. And the priest could not enter into the house of Yahweh, because the glory of Yahweh had filled Yahweh's house. And when all the children of Israel saw how the fire came down and the glory of Yahweh with their faces to Aslakia upon the house, they bowed themselves with their faces to the ground upon the pavement, and worshiped and praised Yahweh, saying, for He is good, for His mercy endureth forever. Think about that. To be able to see the dedication of the Most High God's temple, to be able to see and to understand and to have that spirit, though. I just want to serve and bow down to the Most High God. Then the king of all the people offered sacrifices before Yahweh. And King Solomon offered a sacrifice of 22,000 oxen and 120,000 sheep. So the king of all the people dedicated the house of the Most High God Yahweh. And this wasn't a little dedication.
Right.
Can you imagine 22,000 oxen? Think of how much work it took, man. Think about that, Captain. How much work you got to put in to sacrifice 22,000 oxen. Think of the preparation. Think of the organization
Mm.
of how you got to have the oxen corralled in a certain type of way, right? Think about we think about modern day assembly lines, like when you go into like mass production of beef and stuff of that nature. You know, they got the
Right.
slaughterhouses and things. Think of the work and the preparation and the diligence and the dedication it takes to slaughter one oxen, let alone 22,000. Think of the time frame it takes. Think of the body of men, the priests that it takes, the Levites. Think about the order, 22,000 oxen. And the priests waited on their offices. The Levites also with instruments of music of Yahweh, which David the king had made to praise Yahweh because his mercy endure forever. Think of the dedication in the spirit of our mighty forefather David and how that dedication passed on generation to his son. Your dedication to the Most High God will directly affect the dedication, could directly affect the dedication of your generations, of your offspring.
Mm.
What are you preparing in your walk that will be utilized in your son's walk, in your daughter's walk, in your grandchildren's walk? We see because of David's dedication to the Most High God, there were instruments there that Solomon had to give to the Levites, to the musicians, to praise the Most High God Yahweh. Dedication is generational, y'all. Just how there's generational curses, and we see in Deuteronomy 28 and 1 on down, right, to 1 through about 14, how blessings are generational as well. Because his mercy endure forever. When David praised by their ministry, and the priests sounded trumpets before them, and all Israel stood. Moreover, Solomon hallowed the middle of the court that was before the house of Yahweh. For there he offered Salakia burnt offerings and the fat of the peace offerings, because the brazen altar which Solomon had made was not able to receive the burnt offerings and the meat offerings and the fat. Solomon was so turned up in his dedication that the brazen altar wasn't even big enough to hold all of the offerings, the burnt offerings, and the commitments that he made unto the Most High God. Also, at the same time, Solomon kept the feast 7 days, and all of Israel with him, a very great congregation from the entering of Hamath unto the river of Egypt. And in the 8th day, they made a solemn assembly, and they kept the dedication of the altar 7 days and the feast 7 days. So we see that this dedication happened the same time as the Feast of Tabernacles, during the Feast of Tabernacles. Because we see, and in the 8th day, they made a solemn assembly, and they kept the dedication of the altar 7 days and the feast 7 days. And on the 23rd day of the 7th month, he sent the people away into their tents, glad and merry in heart, for the goodness that the Lord had shewed unto David and to Solomon and to Israel his people. Right? Let's go to that verse 11 real quick. Thus Solomon finished the house of the Lord, right, and the king's house, and all that came into Solomon's heart to make in the house of the Lord and in his own house, he prosperously effected. So when we go into, having that heart after the Most High God and asking the Most High God to perfect our heart, which we know is the mind, right? So that we can do the things that are pleasing to him, and that we can have the spirit of dedication like we see that our mighty forefathers had through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. You got it, King.
God, man, all praise to the Most High, mighty account. Did you want to get a closing precept before I close it with the first Maccabees chapter 4?
No, you got it, King. You got it.
Okay, all praise to the Most High, Yahweh Shem Yahushua. All right, so we're going to get the book of first Maccabees chapter 4. Lord willing, and we're going to read verses 52 on down. Lord willing. This is First Maccabees, Salakia. This is First Maccabees chapter 4 and verse number 52. It reads, Now on the 25th day of the ninth month, which is called the month Caslu, in the 148th year, they rose up betimes in the morning and offered sacrifice according to the law upon the new altar of burnt offerings which they had made. So a new altar was made. This is
Mm.
after the destruction of these wicked heathens destroying our altars, our temple, right? We're in the midst of the Feast of Dedication, where we'll be closing it out tomorrow at sundown, Lord willing. But there was offering sacrifice according to the law upon the new altar, right? Things have to be made anew within you, within your own spirit, Lord willing. If your dedication is not there, then you have to be made anew and you have to rededicate, like the brother was saying a little while back. Daily rededication. If you see yourself fall off in any way, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, through repentance, rededicate, Lord willing, while you have the opportunity to. It reads in verse 54, Look at what time and what day the heathen had profaned it. Even in that was it dedicated with songs and citherns and harps and cymbals. Right? So we had a joyous time, right? And rededication of your temple and of your spirit can be joyous too. You don't have to always take that approach of, well, I fell off and I'm not doing what I used to do. And, you can have a mournful spirit about it because we all want to always have a high level of dedication. But let your rededication be a joyous time. Let it be the the turn up spirit. Let your rededication be a turn up,
God.
right? It says, Then all the people fell upon their faces, worshiping and praising the God of heaven, who had given them good success, right? And so they kept the dedication of the altar 8 days and offered burnt offerings with gladness and sacrificed the sacrifice of deliverance and praise, right? So this mighty feast day, this feast week that we keep is in honor of rededication, rededicating the temple physically, rededicating the temple spiritually. It says they decked also the forefront of the temple with crowns of gold and with shields and the gates and the chambers they renewed and hanged doors upon them. Now we know we all, Lord willing, get in the spirit of putting these decorations up in our homes, right? In our houses for the Most High God, and representation of how we decked the forefront of the temple, right? Of the altar, so on and so forth. Well, put your crown on spiritually too when you getting up to rededicate yourself, Lord willing. Hey, put that crown on, King. Put that crown on, Princess. Lord willing. It says, Thus was there very great gladness among the people, for that the reproach of the heathen was put away. And the Most
God.
High put the reproach of the heathen away. And you can put that reproach of those wicked spirits that try to chip away at your level of dedication, and you can put the reproach of those spirits away. The Lord gave us the power, He gave us the mindset, He gave us the ability to tread down these wicked spirits, to cast them down, to pray to Him to pull down strongholds, and to rededicate ourselves. It says, Moreover, Judas and his brethren, with the whole congregation of Israel, ordained that the days of the dedication of the altar should be kept in their season from year to year by the space of 8 days, from the 25th day of the month Caslu, with mirth and gladness. All praise to the Most High Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. And to just finish it out, at the time also they builded up the Mount Zion with high walls and strong towers round about, lest the Gentiles should come and tread it down as they had done before. So even when you spiritually, even when you are rededicating yourself, take some steps, take some measures to protect your spirit more, to protect your walk more. If you notice some things that were distracting unto you, hey, cut those things out. Build you up a wall in representation of how we actually built up a strong wall, how we built up towers. Build yourself up a tower, a watchtower, to where you can be at the top and you looking and you watching out for these same things that had your dedication lacking. Now you can stop these things, you can stomp these things out, you can keep these things from coming in. It says, and they set their garrison to keep it and fortified Bethsura to pursue it, that the people might have a defense against Idumea. And you know, we got to have a defense against wicked spirits. We got to have a defense against Edom, Esau, and these wicked nations and their plans to keep us in the dark, keep us lost, keep us in sin. But through all that, we still have to have a high level of dedication. And if we do fall short, then we got to, Lord willing, beg for the spirit and desire to rededicate ourselves and to go harder than before, Lord willing. You got something?
God, man, we just want to say all praise y'all about Shema Shake, woman like y'all was shy. You know, Israel, the four corners, spread to the four corners of the world. Keep the diligence, increase the faith. You know, keep striving for righteousness. Hey, like our mighty brother Jonah, unto death. And Yahweh Bashim Yahushua will give you that reward. So signing off, O.F.I General Nakamaya.
Cons, O.F.I Captain Emmanuel.
Kwam Yasha'Allah, Kwam Yasha'Allah, Kwam Yasha'Allah. You know, Ashar Kanaka.
Shar
Let's get it.
Kanaka. Kwame Ashala, Shalom.
Shalom, shalom.